how do you deal with the pain in the body? Do you want to talk about that? We haven't talked about hindrances of the body and how to overcome that hindrance. If
Hindrances.
we could do that, talk about that.
Yeah,
quickly.
go ahead, talk about that a little bit. There's actually one thing I'm gonna pull up while you talk about it.
Yeah, so hindrances of the body. One, our body needs to be refueled. We have to be able to listen to it. It's an intuitive tool on its own. So if we feel tired of doing something and worn out, what should you do? Rest.
Go to sleep.
That's one thing that we didn't learn in our household. So that's one thing that was a hindrance. One thing our dad would say, which helped us reach a lot of goals, but it didn't help us with our sleep, is that we would be like, we'll be doing something, cleaning up something, working on the car for hours or training, whatever it is. And we'll say, I'm tired. And what would he say to us?
You never get tired.
And
he's supposed to get tired.
And that's just he said, you know what I remember him saying? What? Tired. What does tired mean?
What does tired mean? Yeah, like it just didn't exist. So we never, that was like the soldier mentality, building it into it. So, but that
and I understand why he did that, because you have to be able to do this at any moment, even if you're tired, because he's body. Training people who could get attacked in their sleep.
And just thinking about that, like having your body ready for any moment.
Oh, I remember really what he'd have us do when he call our name to go downstairs. What do we have to do?
Be there within 10 seconds.
We had to run down there.
Yeah, he wasn't playing. He was not playing.
But I bring that up because there are a lot of pros to it, but the cons are I'm still dealing with having trouble learning how to relax, which relaxation is what helps build your body back up. You have to have the range of having slow sleep breathing to high activity, high intense activity. The more you can take your heart through those ranges, the healthier your body will be. At least that's what I've noticed.
And so the hindrances are interesting because they just aren't physical. They have to manifest from something mental first, which go back and listen to our mind podcast.
They can be physical in the way of a trauma or if something externally hits you, and you just really had no control
car accident.
But even then, that's still some kind of hindrance,
some type of hindrance
that you just have to learn how to work with. Yeah, just overcome it.
And so it's really, I'm gonna go through it real quick. These are just the 5 hindrances they recognize in Buddhism. The 5 hindrances: 1, desire, clinging, craving. And really it's talking about kamachand, which is the sexual desire and craving. That can hinder you, and it can also hinder parts of your body. If you do something too much, you'll work that muscle out too far and you'll break it. Whether that's lifting weights, whether that's
I remember running. I pulled a muscle doing a warm-up deadlift.
And that's
I still feel that pain.
Yeah.
That
so hindrance. Talking about desire, clinging, and craving. So if you desire something too sexual, you can get some problems, whether that be by yourself or with somebody. So those things, that's the first hindrance. The second hindrance, aversion, which is anger or hatred. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. What do you do when you get mad?
You either avert yourself somewhere else.
It feels like your blood's boiling. It feels like you can't focus, and you just get stuck in that way. Sleepiness, sloth is number 3. Laziness, like just being lazy, just like a sloth.
Sometimes
slow.
With your body, you might not understand. You feel like you're doing good and building your body up, but you might be lazy. Of course, if you're just lazy and procrastinator, there's no excuse. But I'm not saying this is an excuse, but sometimes if it feels chronic and you're literally trying your best to make your body better, but you're still tired, you're still feeling this, it might be something medical. For example, we have G6PD, which is glucose 6-phosphate deficiency. So
say that again. Put that on a card.
Glucose 6-phosphate deficiency.
What does that mean?
So that means that there's an enzyme that our body doesn't process the same as everybody else's body.
So, for instance, we can't really eat a bunch of wide beans like
broad
we can,
beans.
but broad beans like fava beans are just really wide beans because it actually affects our body differently.
It makes us really tired. You start seeing yellowing of the eyes with certain eyes.
Yeah, that's just us understanding our body, and we can do all these flips and kicks and punches.
But
and
I remember being like, gosh, why am I so tired? And it depends on the food that I'm eating.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm putting in my body. So learn what
might make you feel sleepy or slothy with hindrance number 3, which brings me to hindrance number 4, which is the complete opposite of that. It's restlessness. So restlessness in the way of like, I just got to keep busy and got to move, but not actually getting things done. So how that hinders you in your mind. I want to work out, but I'm thinking about this, or I got to do this, or I got to do that.
Oh, hold on. I didn't rest so my body is real sore. I can't.
But I got to keep going. I got to keep pushing. I got to keep working out.
Think about your body like a car. Your car sits there 80% of the time in the parking lot. But you got to put the right stuff in it for it to work. Put the right gas. If you're trying to go long distances, you can't just go a long distance and fill up the gas once and think you're going to make it. Right.
You got to put the right oil in it. If you put the wrong oil, because they make them thicker or thinner for your engine, whatever it may be. And if the gas has just been sitting there in the car for a month and you haven't been using it, you're going to get your car acting weird because it hasn't been regularly used.
Learn the sounds of your car. What sound is your car making? There's a certain sound your car makes when you try to start it up and it doesn't start. It could tell you if it's the alternator or if it's the starter, if it's your battery. A certain sound can tell you if it's the fan belt or if it's your serpentine belt or if it's these different sounds signal you for what's going on inside your vehicle. So what are the sounds? What are the things your body's making? What are the vibration your body makes and is telling you and making you aware of? What are those hindrances and problems that your body's like, hey, this is here.
Hey, man, my back is tight right here. I gotta stretch a little bit. Hey, it's hard to walk because you pulled your hamstring. You got to rest now. So restlessness can cause injuries or cause you to just do things and not get what you're trying to get done.
And you're not very conscious when you're very restless.
And number 5, which is probably out of all these, one of the most powerful because it stops you, and that's a doubt. Really self-doubt, but doubt that, oh, I can't do that. I'm not able to move that way. I can't kick my leg that high.
Okay, so are these words you're saying, is that coming from the mind or is this something somebody physically said? It all starts from the mind.
I've heard a lot of people say, I can't do that, or, oh, I wish, and it just starts physically using the meat and flapping it around and saying
what was in their mind, making it reality and manifesting.
So doubt, one of the 5 hindrances, is probably one of the most powerful ones because it can stop you from completing any goal, whether that mentally or physically. So I'm not able to do that because my legs aren't flexible enough, or I'm not fast enough, or I'm too slow, or I'm too fat, or I don't have enough muscle. Just so many things of these self-doubts, of these things that stop us before we can even get it to manifest. And people use their mouth, their words, their body to put those messages into the universe.
It's one thing too. People put those messages out. I do it all the time, unconsciously. You don't even know you're saying it. We have those thoughts in our head, and it can be in our river, the river of our mind, right? It could be its own river. You said river of doubt. So your mind isn't just limited to one river, just like there's not just one river in the world. There's multiple ways. So you can explore your own mind forever, let alone try to explore something else.
Right. So the same thing with your body. Like, I'm learning different things with my body. I'm not weightlifting as much as I said earlier, but I'm still using my body in a different way as I get older, because I know I'm getting older, So I'm going to move different from when I was younger.
Yeah, it's true.
And so...
going to the doubt. You had something you were going to say?
Oh, no. Let's just talk about, review those 5 hindrances.
This is what I was going to say about the doubt. This part's important. At least I find it important.
Okay, go ahead, because he's just like, I got to share it.
I have to.
Fine.
This is why. Because
do it.
Just like we said, people, including me, everybody, has fallen into the trap of self-doubt. They've fallen into the river of doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you get yourself out of there?
Mm-hmm. How do you do it as a martial artist?
First, be aware that you're in the doubt. So by you saying, I can't do that, that's a moment where you can catch yourself, catch that vibration and say, wait, I didn't really believe that. Let me cut that out.
Mm-hmm.
As a writer, you always delete things. As a video editor, Control Z is your best friend.
Yeah. You get that cut tool.
Yeah, they cut it up.
With the katana slice.
And that's where you start refining. You take and grab the thought out of your river. You can refine it, or you can get rid of it, or you can just never grab the thought at all. But if you happen to grab onto it, here's the doubt. Now, what's the other side of that? So I say I can't do martial arts because, wait, is that true?
And you know what? That leads perfectly. Let me talk about the 5 hindrances again, and that segues to what we're going to wrap up with. The 5 hindrances: desire. Second, anger. Third, sleepiness, sloth, laziness. Fourth, restlessness. Fifth, doubt. So how do you investigate this hindrance? And it's pretty much exactly what he just shared. I'm going to read it off of here. There's a formula they have in Buddhist belief called rain. Talk about river. Now we're going to talk about rain.
Let's drink some water.
Oh, water. Drink that water. R, recognize it. Recognize it. What is it in your body that you need to recognize? A, accept it. I'm weak in this area. I need to do more push-ups. I need to do more pull-ups. I need to work on my flexibility.
Or
I'm not as flexible
in this area too.
Or I am strong. Accept it. I, investigate it. What is it like? All right, when I use my chest, what does it feel like?
When I drive my car, what sound does it make?
When I'm kicking, doing a front snap kick, what does my leg? Investigate it.
Does it feel good when I do it this one way? And if I change it a little bit, how does that feeling feel?
Then the last one, non-identification, which I think is very powerful. I'm going to read it here. This is just a passing process that comes and goes, not who we are. So as you were saying it, do I believe this or not? And so that just goes back to the quote that Bruce Lee has. Bruce Lee all day.
All day. I used to write book reports on him all the time.
Bruce Lee. And you talk about, in order to learn, you have to unlearn. In order to master something, you got to just forget about what you have learned in order to learn something else. Not to say forget it forever. No, just in the process of learning.